Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene. You are watching Lubed. This is season 3, episode number 2 for October the 5th, 2023. If you are coming along, joining me in for the ride, feel free to leave your comments and questions, and I will try to answer them as best as possible. We got a lot of stuff I want to talk about tonight. Recap last night's game between the Flames and Oilers. Also, Jack Campbell's looking pretty good, is he not? So I want to discuss that a little bit. And then I'm also going to dive into the final tune-up of the preseason between the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night. And we will see what happens with that. So a lot to discuss. And let's get into it. Let's start off with last night's game between the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, as the Edmonton Oilers absolutely destroyed Calgary. Now, am I jumping for joy? Not really. Calgary basically iced the AHL affiliate, and the Oilers had their big guns, McDavid, Draisaitl, Connor Brown, Evander Kane, Hyman. Like, they basically dressed 90% of their opening lineup. The only people that were missing out was maybe McLeod and Ekholm. So I would have been actually kind of disappointed if that result didn't happen. But anyway, it started off with Connor McDavid getting a goal on the power play. And then he also fed Connor Brown for a pair last night. I'm not going to get too much of the details of the scoring summary. But basically, they ran over Calgary, and it's not a big deal. Like, really, it's not a big deal. It was the AHL version, and you really got to see the difference between men and boys when it came to that game. Yeah, it was... I expected that score to actually be like that. If the Oilers would have lost, or if it was close, I might have been a little concerned, you know. So, not a big deal. So up next, they'll play Seattle. I'll get into that shortly. So yeah, it was pretty decent. Let's get into Jack Campbell. He's been looking pretty decent so far. And is this just the fact that, hey, he's not dealing with the pressure of the regular season woes and all the critics behind him? But I'm telling you right now, he looked pretty good. I am really hoping this carries over into the regular season. We know how he did last year. It wasn't exactly... he had a winning record, but his save percentage was really bad. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't have that information, but it was not a very good season opener for Jack Campbell. But what I've seen so far is very promising. And I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm almost starting to see maybe Skinner starting to slip a little bit, which I hope is not the case either, because we need those guys as the 1-2 tandem. If we want to win a Stanley Cup this year, which is my expectation this team is going to do this year, we have to find a way. Like what I've been seeing out of Jack Campbell so far. I don't know what you guys are. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section if you're watching this after the live feed. If you happen to join me during the live feed, definitely leave some comments, and I will definitely try to respond to them as soon as possible. But yeah, thumbs up for Mr. Jack Campbell. Let me just get on with the next topic, which is tomorrow's game against the Seattle Kraken. Now, obviously, there is not much stats to go off of, as there's only one or a few games played. Seattle has a record of 3-1-1 so far this preseason. Edmonton 4-2-1. You can't really make any notes on that because it's just a roster blender for the preseason, so you can't really judge anything about that. Kyler Yamamoto, of course, scored in the previous meeting between these two against his former club. But we'll see what happens. This is the final tune-up before the Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks next Wednesday night in Vancouver, the first of 2 back-to-back. They'll play Wednesday, and then I believe it's a hockey night in Canada Fair on the Saturday coming up. And that's when things start for real. And that's when I honestly will call it the road to the Stanley Cup begins for the Edmonton Oilers. I think they will do good. Like I say, you can't really compare notes yet off of what we've seen, but you can definitely get some idea. Lineups. Now, I pulled this off of Daily Faceoff. This is from September 28th. There's nothing up to date. So this is as current as I'm going to give you. But basically, you have Evander Kane with McDavid and Brown. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be on the line with Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. Holloway, Ryan McLeod, and Matthias Janmark. Followed by Foegele, Pedersen, and Derek Ryan. Your defensive pairings: Darnell Nurse with Cody Ceci, Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard. Brett Kulak will be with Vinny Desharnais. That's what we've been kind of preliminarily expecting thus far. And of course, Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell are your goaltending tandem. It's kind of what we expected. The question is, will Jack Campbell take over the number 1 spot? And right now, and it's very, very, very preliminary, but I do like what I've seen out of Campbell. So there might be a fight on the hands for Stuart Skinner to maintain that spot. As you can see, here's the schedule, which starts next Wednesday against Vancouver. Of course, you see Seattle up in the right corner there on the Friday night. That is the last game. That is the last preseason game. You can probably find it on Oilers Plus. Speaking of Oilers Plus, there's been some hiccups with it. Hopefully they will be able to iron out some of those hiccups. The Calgary game went by pretty much flawlessly, but I believe the Seattle game was just a mess, and a lot of people had troubles with it. But I still love the service. You know, it's like anything with technology. There's hiccups. Definitely on my channel, I have a lot of hiccups, so I totally understand. So anyway, they play Vancouver next Wednesday. Again, Vancouver on the following Saturday. Then they go to Nashville and Philly for a road trip. Back home to play the Jets, and then head out to play Minnesota. Back home to play the Rangers. And then it's the Heritage Classic on the 29th at Commonwealth Stadium. And I just found out that Nickelback is your headliner. So those of you guys that like Nickelback, I guess you'll be in for a treat. And those of you guys don't, go for a beer. And enjoy the show as much as you can. Okay, I guess I'm going to just wrap it up here. That's pretty much all I got. When it gets into the regular season, I can really break down the stats and the upcoming games. But for now, I'm just going to keep these first few episodes until we break into the regular season, until I have more content. But this is kind of how it's going to look when I do my episodes. I am going to do them for sure on Sundays. I'm going to try for sure on Sundays. I mean, there is times that I'll have to bump it or whatever, but Sundays is usually pretty much an open day. I can do it in the morning if I have to, or do it in the evening. The weekday games may vary. It may be on a Tuesday, it may be on a Thursday. I am trying to shoot for all these on a Wednesday. And then, of course, Sammy and I do our NHL Aftermath on Saturday nights. That's my other channel, and that's all NHL based. Those of you guys that do watch that channel, we are not coming on this Saturday. Sammy is in the middle of moving from Alberta to British Columbia. And I kind of figured as much because I'm still in the middle of my move. I'm still unpacking. And this is 2 weeks into it. So I totally get. So those of you expecting NHL Aftermath on Saturday, we're going to have to delay it 1 week. Other than that, guys, if you enjoy the content that I bring, feel free to hit like, share, and subscribe. And always, I'm going to use my coin phrase, stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated. We will talk soon. You have a great evening.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show